Okay, so we use it literally every single day for work, for streaming, for just about everything. But what is Wi Fi really? It kind of feels like magic, right? Well, today we're going to pull back that curtain and see exactly how it all works. I mean, just think about it for a second. Right now, you might be watching this on your phone or your laptop, you're sending messages, browsing websites, and there are no wires connecting you to the web. How in the world is that even possible? Well, that is the exact question we are going to dig into. And let's just get this out of the way right now, because it's the biggest misconception out there. Your Wi-Fi router, it's not some magic box that just makes the internet appear out of thin air. Nope. The internet is a huge, physical thing, a massive network of cables. Wi-Fi is simply the amazing technology that gives your devices a wireless ticket to ride. So here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to meet the three key players in this whole Wi-Fi story. Then, we'll follow a single click on its incredible, lightning-fast journey. After that, we'll look at the invisible radio waves that make it all happen. And finally, we'll get into that question we all have. Why does my Wi-Fi sometimes slow to an absolute crawl? All right, let's start with part one, the three key players. See, before you can understand how it all works, you've got to know who's actually on the field. It really boils down to three essential parts that have to work together perfectly. First, you've got your device, your phone, your laptop, whatever you're using. Then there's the router, that little box with the blinking lights. And finally, you have the internet itself. These three are talking to each other constantly. So what actually connects them? Well, it's Wi-Fi. At its heart, Wi-Fi is just a wireless technology that uses radio waves to shoot information through the air. It's basically the same idea as the waves that bring music to your car radio or shows to your TV, just, way, way faster. And right in the middle of everything is the router. You can think of it as the heart of your entire home network. Its main job is to be a super efficient middleman. Your device talks to the router with those radio waves, and then the router, which has a physical cable plugging it into the internet, goes out and talks to the rest of the world for you. So now let's see how this all actually comes together in practice. For our next part, we're going to follow just one single request on its mind-boggling journey to see how fast that middleman really is. So let's say you want to open a website. You type in the address and you hit enter. In that split second, your device zaps that request as radio waves to your router. The router then sends it out onto the internet where it finds the server that hosts the website. That server immediately sends all the website's data back to your router, which then beams it right back to your device, and poof, the website appears. And this is the absolutely wild part. That entire 5-step round-trip journey happens in just a few milliseconds. We're talking thousands of a second. It's so unbelievably fast, it feels completely instant. And here's the secret to how it pulls off that incredible speed. The data, like a whole web page or a video, isn't sent as one massive chunk. Instead, it gets broken down into these tiny little pieces called data packets. Each packet is sent on its own, and then your device puts them all back together on the other end, kind of like assembling a puzzle. It's not just faster, it's also more reliable, because if one tiny little piece gets lost along the way, your device just has to ask for that one packet again, not the whole thing. Which brings us to part three, riding the radio waves. Okay, so if those data packets are like tiny little cars, then the radio waves are the invisible highways they travel on. And just like real roads, not all of them are the same. Most routers these days broadcast on two main frequency bands, or highways. You've got 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz. Think of the 2.4 gigahertz band like a long, winding country road. It has fantastic range, it can go through walls pretty easily, but it's a bit slower and can get pretty crowded. The 5 gigahertz band, on the other hand, is like a brand new multi-lane superhighway. It's way faster and has a lot less interference, but its signal doesn't travel as far. And of course, technology never stands still. The newest routers out there, the ones using a standard called Wi-Fi 6, can even use a 6 gigahertz band. And that's basically a brand new, even wider superhighway just for you, which means even faster speeds and way less traffic. Which actually leads us perfectly into our final section, solving the slowdown. This is the part that we can all relate to, finally understanding why our supposedly super fast connection sometimes feels like it's stuck in molasses. It's the absolute worst feeling, right? You're in the middle of a movie, or you're trying to get on a video call, and everything just stops. So what is actually going on? Why does this happen? Well, those radio waves we've been talking about can get messed with pretty easily. For example, if you have way too many devices connected at once, you create a kind of digital traffic jam. Physical things, like thick concrete walls, can literally block the signal. Just being too far from the router makes the signal weaker. And believe it or not, other electronics, even your microwave oven, can cause interference that messes things up. So let's go back to our main analogy, because it really makes it all click. If you just think of Wi-Fi as this invisible highway system in the air all around you, the reasons for a slowdown suddenly make total sense. So on this highway, your data packets are the cars, and the radio waves are the road itself. When you have too many devices all trying to send data, what do you get? A traffic jam. Walls and long distances are like roadblocks or just running out of pavement. The clearer and more open that road is, the faster your data can travel. Simple as that. So, if we're going to boil this whole thing down to just one sentence, here it is. Wi-Fi uses radio waves to connect your device to a router, and that router acts as your personal on-ramp to the huge global internet.
So at the end of the day, Wi-Fi really isn't magic. It's just a brilliantly engineered system. It's an invisible highway in the air, all around us, all the time, moving the information that runs our world at nearly the speed of light. And now, you know how it actually works.